Okay, in UPSC syllabus, we have 3 sections. The first is about the physical feature, the second regarding the natural resources, and in the third section, earthquakes, tsunami, volcano. After that, there is a critical changes in geographical features and its effect on the flora and fauna of the particular region. Our topic will be that, okay, today. Before going into the critical changes in geographical feature, let us first see what is geographical feature all about. What is geographical feature all about? Geographical features are man-made or naturally created features on Earth. That is a geographical feature. Geographical feature can be a lake, an ocean, a mountain system, island, anything can be a geographical feature. On the other hand, that is a natural geographical feature. On the other hand, we will have non-geographical, man-made geographical features. That may be a dam, construction of a huge dam, changes the entire ecosystem of that region. So that is a man-made geographical feature. And for example, we have a huge tract of wetland. Suppose tomorrow some government came into power and they wanted to reclaim that particular piece of wetland. It will destroy the complete wetland ecology. And you know how sensitive a wetland ecology can be. Because there are many other factors, but see, migration of birds takes place and many other related economic and other activities. So there are natural as well as man-made geographical features. Natural, I've already explained. So look, those are the geographical features, and now we are concerned with critical changes that is taking place in the geographical features. This kind of question has been asked in the UPSC in last 2 years, and there is a probability of asking this, there is a high probability in fact, because these are the new areas. These are the new areas and many changes are going on in these areas, okay. So if we go for geographical features, what can be more important than a river system? River system itself is a geographical feature, and there is a significant amount of changes that is taking place in a river. And why river is important? Because river is linked not only for human civilization, but many other flora and fauna related to it. The earliest civilization on this planet Earth, be it the Harappan civilization or Indus civilization or the Mesopotamian civilization, that is the present era, happens in the valley of a river. So river is the lifeline, not only for human being but for related flora and fauna. So importance of river cannot be overstated. It is very important. And today if we look in India or across the world, yesterday also we have discussed about how importance of oil will come down, but the importance of water will go up. And that scenario, you can imagine the dynamics that is going on in the construction of dams by the Chinese on the northern side of Himalaya. That is very important. Now, so let us see the changes, especially we will go for Indian rivers only. You can extend this to other important rivers across the globe, okay. Before going into what is dying river in India, we will have to understand what is healthy river. Only then we will appreciate, okay, this is dying. Otherwise, if you don't know what is dying, or if you don't know what is healthy, then how can you say it is dying? Okay, so let us see what is healthy, okay. Please follow me. An entity which performs all the evolutionary geomorphological means what? Erosion and deposition. See, geography, it is very important to understand the terms. And if you can write at least 1-2 terms in your answer paper, it will really enhance the quality, okay? And the mark that you will fetch will be very rewarding. It is an evolutionary geomorphological, means erosion and deposition. Ecological means what? Ecological, because it brings sediments, it brings it transport many other chemical particles, which is helpful for the flora and fauna of the particular region. Okay, dependent on this river, that is ecological. Social, why? Civilization happened in the river valley only. Social, cultural, economical, because transportation system, water transportation system, all functions of a river, giving life not only to a selected class of people, selected class of society. Why selected? See, there is an equality aspect also. It is very important. Equality aspect also. A rich guy can drink a bottle of water directly from Himalaya, but a poor person in a slum area cannot even afford a pouch. Okay, so that is a difference in India, and that is the reality. And as an aspirant for administrative job, it is very important to know and to appreciate the different colors and the different shades of our own society. So equality factors play very prominently, especially in India. So see, not only to a selected class of society, but the living world at large can be called as a living river. Now, do you understand what is healthy river all about? It is ecological, very simple. Evolutionary, ecological, social, cultural, economics. At the same time, bring the equality factor. That is complete. Okay. River natural ecosystem processes are maintained. These are the importance. Major natural habitats feature are represented and are maintained over time. Native river banks, vegetation is sustained along the majority of the river length. Please interrupt me if you don't understand any term. These are easy terms, that's why I'm just reading through, okay? Native fish and other animals can move and migrate up and down the river. Linkages between river and floodplain and associated wetland maintain ecological processes. Because wetland, floodplain is very important. We will see when we in the coming slides about how wetland is important. Natural linkages with the sea or terminal lakes are maintained. Associated estuaries and terminal lake system are productive ecosystem. Okay, all those are attributes of healthy river. See, let me just concentrate here. Estuaries. Why it is important? Because estuaries are one of the most unique ecosystem. Because what is estuary? It is a melting, say for example, this is ocean, this is mountain region, here is a river, here is a river. This is saline river, saline water, this is fresh water. This will come and hit here, there will be some churning that will take place, some mixing, this is called estuary. This ecology is completely different from this ecology. This ecology is completely different from this because it is a little bit saline, little bit of fresh. And in a natural scale, see at home, in your kitchen, you can create such kind of atmosphere. Little bit saline, little bit fresh water. But in natural scale, such kind of environment is very difficult to find. And in this particular environment, there are flora and fauna, which is again very important for transportation and ecological functions that it performs. And once this environment has destroyed, if you destroy this, the dependent flora and fauna will disappear because it cannot survive neither here or neither here. And this again becomes very important because these estuaries are not large. Say for example, this is ocean. Ocean is very big, so they can move from one location to the other. Even the river is very long. But this estuary, if you look in a global scale, it is very small. That is the importance of estuary, okay? And suppose if you destroy this river, or you let this to die, this environment will completely vanish. That is the importance of a healthy river, okay? Now, I have selected 2-3 important rivers. Let us run through that. But mind you, if while you read newspapers or while you read anything, if you find any important rivers, please follow the same exercise. Okay. Now, River Ganga. What are the challenges? Let us see. This is River Ganga. It starts from here, travels, follow the pointer please. This is Bangladesh, it comes to Hooghly Basin. It will be around 2,000-3,000 kilometers. It's a plain region, heavily populated. Heavily populated. Very important, heavily populated. Okay. Now, and second thing, it is coming from this. There are mountain ranges here. There are mountain ranges. How it is traveling? It is first traveling through mountain ranges. Gradually it debounces in the plain, follows this path, makes a delta out here. Okay. Now, let us see. What are the challenges in the river Ganga? During the past few decades, ecologically unplanned urbanization and fast industrialization has degraded the entire Ganga ecosystem. You agree or not? Yes. Discharge of sewage, industrial effluent. See, these terms are very important. The only purpose of the purpose of these classes are not for PhD degree or MSc in geography. It is for clearing UPSC exam. So in that particular 3 hours time frame, you sit in the exam, you are under tremendous pressure. Everybody knows that. And in that particular confined time limit, it is very important to produce such kind of terms. It doesn't, kick much, okay, in the exam. You need to practice again and again. Only then you can be able to go and reproduce. Because in the exam, nothing generates. In the exam, no time for creativity. It's all about what you produce. And if nothing is here, what you will produce. So you need to keep some input. Only then there will be some output, okay? So repeated practice is the only answer. Discharge of sewage. You will say like, oh, I understand what is Ganga all about. But in exam you say Ganga is very holy to India. then only holiness can save you. See, discharge of sewage, industrial effluent, cremation of dead body, agricultural runoff, disposal of solid and biomedical waste, religious waste material, etc. From here, even if you can remember 3 terms, that is enough. 3-4 terms is enough. I've elaborated this. Extraction of huge quantity of water through leaf canals. Construction of dam. See, it is flowing through a mountain region. So there is a construction of dam on these regions. Okay. That's why I say it is flowing through this mountain region, plain region, formation of delta. Population. Then you can remember all those terms. Population, flowing. It's a memory aid actually. So see, deforestation of Himalayan region. These are the challenges. Okay. See, one of the most important thing, what do you think? And it is rightly said so. There is a healing power in the waters of Ganga. And especially for the people, like for the religious purpose, and many people take pilgrimage to Ganga. And it is considered like it is cleansing agent, or there is a healing power in the waters of Ganga. And it has been rightly so. And as a geography student, you should be very proud, because we can able to explain that scientifically. How it can be explained scientifically? Let me tell you. During runoff from East Kashmir area are consisting of different quality of rocks. It contains lots of chemical substances. Okay. Now what will happen is Ganga emerges from the Himalayan region. While flowing through the Himalayan region, it encounters many different type of rocks. And rocks are very rich in minerals. There are many minerals, zinc or this or any other. Okay. There are many minerals. So what will happen? It will, due to erosion, due to cutting, it will collect all the minerals, and it used to supply into the Ganga river. And now, so it acts like a disinfectant, it acts like antioxidant, many other things, okay, which is helpful to us, which is helpful for our skin, which is helpful while drinking in a pure state, okay. Now, the more it gets deteriorated day by day, that cleansing power is also completely destroyed. And it cannot be man-made we cannot reproduce by human action again. So that is one of the most important aspect, aesthetic aspect in fact. Consequences for that kind of deterioration are very simple. The river is now leading cause to infant and child mortality, skin problems, many other. Because see, can you at least appreciate and correlate encephalitis, Japanese encephalitis, or other infection, diarrhea, any other infection disease, because it is highly populated? And how it is related? It is related with the river, because water is again very important. Okay, and the degradation of Ganga can be linked up directly to the health or the IMR. Ganga, the quality of a Ganga, the river quality of a Ganga can be related to IMR. And in the exam, if you can bring that correlation, that is very good. Another of the main issue of Ganga river pollution is the vast irrigation network which have cropped up to fed India's ever expanding population. This vast network of canals and ditches slowly but surely filter off the water from Ganges and its subsidiary, causing an alarming drop of water level, especially in the dry season. Okay. Another sad side story of the destruction of Ganges is the downfall of native river, Ganges river dolphin. So it is affecting the dependent community, you can say, the dependent community on the well-being of the Ganga. Okay. What are the recommendations? Before going into recommendation, please see this. This is a river Ganga, and this is how untreated water are discharged. Just see, this is the state of Ganga. Recommendations are very simple. Must not allow development activities to deprive the masses of the vast, invaluable services they have been getting freely from the natural ecology of Ganga and of the Himalaya for ages. Okay, clear enough? You just go through this because river Ganga and Yamuna meet together and after that they flow together. So the issues, problems, recommendation are almost the same. Okay. Let us go into eastern rivers, that is river Brahmaputra. Brahmaputra is one of the most load carrying water, means maximum sediments. It carries the world's highest sediments. Okay, this river. It flows from this region, takes a 90-degree turn, the bounces on the Assam. Okay, now the river Brahmaputra has been the lifeline of northeastern state India since ages. This mighty river runs for this kilometer through India, China, Bangladesh. Any alluvial river of such magnitude has problems of sediment erosion deposition attached with it. Brahmaputra is no exception. The challenges are the problems of flood, erosion and drainage congestion in the Brahmaputra basins are gigantic. That you can realize by looking at the frequent flood in the Assam region. The Brahmaputra river is characterized by its exceedingly large flow, enormous volume of sediment load. In fact, it is one of the world's most highest sediment load. Continuous changes in channel morphology. What do you mean by continuous change in channel morphology? Means you know a term known as braided channel. The shape of the course that has been created by the river during its journey is known as its morphology, or you can say. Now, for example, when a river flows initially, it will be somewhere like this, straight. Gradually, it will become sinusoidal. And gradually once, what happens with a river, especially like Brahmaputra, it is carrying a huge amount of sediments. When you carry a sediments, the speed will become lowered down because of the amount of work it needs to do. reduces the speed. Once it reduces the speed, it has a tendency of depositing the load that has been carried by the river. So what we'll do is, suppose a river is running through like this. There is a huge sediment, the speed will get lost, and after that deposition will take place. While deposition takes place, this deposition again will obstruct the flow, and after that this flow will bifurcate into different regions. Means there will be a deposition here, there will be a deposition here. So the river will flow in 3-4 different directions, and this kind of channel is known as braided channel. And that is how there is a change of channel morphology in the Burma Putra basin. And that is the reason why many agricultural land has been occupied by the river Brahmaputra in the Assam plain. There is a erosion, continuous erosion, deposition takes place at the same time, but at the same time inundation of the higher level also, and destroying the agricultural field near the river course. Okay. Changes in channel morphology, rapid bed accretion, and bank line recession and erosion. The river has braided channel in most of its course in the alluvial plain of Assam. The lateral changes in channel cause severe erosion along the banks, leading to a considerable loss of good fertile land each year. Just go through this. See, climate change and this, how it can be related. With climate change, there is a rapid melting of ice glacier. The melting of ice and glacier, where does melted water will go? Into the river. And once that goes into the river, the volume of that river increases. And by increasing that volume, it will create a flood-like situations in the downstream. Okay. What are the recommendations? See, these are the braided channel. This is a satellite image, so it's not so clear. Okay. See, these are the, see, river comes down here, deposit the sediments, deposit the load, because it reduces its speed. And after that, by depositing this has obstructed this flow and bifurcated into two directions. Gradually, such process happens n number of times, and what you find in the final analysis is known as braided channel. Flood management and not just flood mitigation. Why this one? Because see, in such kind of river, carrying such kind of sediment load, passing through such a plain, flood situation is not exceptions. It's a regular phenomenon. We all know. We know this area is a flood prone area, but we occupied and stayed there. So it is nature's nothing wrong. It is we who have decided to stay there. So it is well known. Assam plain is a flood prone area. So every year there is going to be a flood in Assam. So the process is not just mitigation, not by constructing certain things, but flood management. Because we already occupied the Assam plain and there is going to be a flood in that region. So flood management is important. Means what? What do you mean by flood management? Early broadcasting, settlement of population on the higher levels, and you all know all those points. Those are very simple points. Just go, okay? Integrated interinstitutional R&D support, need of renewed policy of integrated water resource management. Okay, see, please concentrate in this term. In the exam, instead of writing 3-4 lines, if you can give some keywords, that is enough. And there will be a constraint of time in the examination. Please remember those words. These are some of the unique feature. Majority of the issue that happens in one river will happen in the other river. But there are certain specific issues regarding rivers in different regions. Accordingly, I have arranged these slides. Okay, now let us go for Western Ghats. The main challenges are anthropogenic threat like deforestation of catchment area for what? Sand mining and dam construction. Do you agree? You have a sand mining in all those western flowing rivers. The second thing is diversion of water for irrigation. Release of untreated pollutants in the river, because these western regions are very highly developed regions. Especially suppose if you go to Karnataka or Maharashtra region and all. Industry will, one of the byproduct of industry is a wastewater, okay, means untreated water. And that has been discharged and leads to a pollution of the river, okay. Viable solution may be linkages of catchment area, river and sea in river basin planning. This again is entirely a different topic altogether. But just remember this, river basin planning, okay. Rivers of Gujarat. Challenges are excessive groundwater use leading to increasing salinity, increasing in its coastal area. You know, I hope you all know why the lowering of the water table causes the saline water to transgress or increase inside the land mass. See, I'll tell you, this is a land mass, or means this is a land. This is ocean, okay. Now what will happen is, this is the level of ocean. This is land. Say for example, water table is this. Now this is above the sea level. But what will happen? Because of repeated or continuous exploration of this water, the surface, the groundwater, this water table will come down. It will come down to such an extent, at some point, because of the basic principle of gravity, this seawater will seepage into this area. And that is how it will become saline. The same case with the sand mining also, which we will discuss further. Poor management of existing large dams, interlinking of river proposals and river pollutions. Rivers of Tamil Nadu and Kerala, new water supplies leading to competition for scarce resources, water pollution, excessive groundwater for agricultural use, catchment deforestation, habitat fragmentation, dams and diversion, sand mining, incorrect land use and encroachment. How sand mining is important for this? Sand mining is also the same. For example, this is a coastal region. You go for a sand mining. And for example, the present water table is this. Present water table is this. This is the sea level. Now what will happen is, there will be a sand mining. Gradually, what will happen? You will remove all this. You are mining the sand. You will remove all this. Gradually, it will touch the water table. Again, gradually what will happen? It will go beneath this. So now what will happen? All the water will come here. Water table has lowered down. So this water will also come here. And it will make the entire region saline. Understood? That is how sand mining is causing salinity of the water table in that particular region. Recommendation, just go through, okay? That is one of the geographical features that we have discussed. That is what? The river. The river is a geographical feature, and in the UPSC syllabus there is a point regarding critical changes that is taking place in important geographical features. And can you correlate? At least now can you correlate how a changes that is taking place in the geographical feature? When I talk about geographical feature, that is the river in this particular case. The second important geographical features are mangrove, because mangrove, and today I'll be taking this Sundarban, okay. You can take the same analysis to any other mangrove in any part of the world. It will almost be the same, but our concern will be how critical it is. And Sundarban is an important geographical features. And let us see what are the changes that are taking place, what are its implications, okay? So that we remain inside the UPSC defined syllabus. See, in UPSC, one of the most important thing is to remain inside within the confine of the UPSC syllabus and the direction. Otherwise, sometimes we go to such an extent which is not at all required. So, this is Bangladesh, this is India, this is West Bengal, and this is Sundarban. Can you see this? From the back side, can you see this? This is Sundarban. Now, it is a mangrove. Mangrove look like this. It is a Bengal tiger, critically endangered. Climate change impact on Sundarban. I will be reading all this. It's not so difficult. Whenever you require any kind of explanation, I will provide. Please interrupt me, otherwise I'll just run through, okay? Because we need to finish some more topics. It is world's largest contiguous mangrove forest. The Sundarbans display high biodiversity as well as the occurrence of endangered and highly threatened species, including the only population of critically endangered Royal Bengal tigers found in a coastal mangrove habitat. Sundarban is also home to 300 species of flora and about 425 species of wildlife, including the Gangetic dolphin and Irrawaddy dolphin. The local population relies heavily on the mangrove as it provides fodder, fuel wood, fish, honey, and medicine. Further, the mangrove swamps and backwaters form a natural barrier to cyclones. Do you appreciate this? Because see, cyclone, the casualty of cyclone in Bangladesh and the destruction of mangrove is directly related. It is proportional. The more you destroy a mangrove, the more casualty in Bangladesh during the cyclonic period. And the occurrence of cyclone in Bangladesh or West Bengal, Orissa is a natural phenomenon. It is we who are not learning the lessons. Otherwise, it's just a global air circulation. Cyclone, all those are just a circulation system. It happens. We all know their particular route. Okay, so natural barriers to cyclone. The mangrove plays a very important role. Tropical storms and tidal surges, providing protection to the inhabited areas and to the coastal fringes and form a protective margin which stabilizes the shoreline. Okay. Now, there is a threat to that particular mangrove environment. What are the threats? Increasing temperature. This will accelerate. This accelerated increase in temperature of the sea has severe implications on aquatic life. This change greatly impact the Sundarban areas as it is an estuarine delta. Okay, and I have already explained to you what is estuarine delta. The increase, because see, what is Sundarban? This is Bay of Bengal. Okay, this is Bay of Bengal. This is River Ganga. This is Sundarban. So what is Sundarban? It is a mangrove, but what mangrove? It is just an estuary. Means this environment is a little bit saline. At the same time, it's similar to a river ecology. So it will have particular vegetation, means particular flora and fauna. So see, any increase or decrease in temperature is going to hamper this very badly, and it will, if it affects one particular link, because see, again, we have, yesterday I told you about how environmental works. Environment always works like a system. What is a system? You all know, but just for understanding better, let me tell you. Suppose this is a system. This system, there is one input, one output. Okay. And inside this system, we have n number of other subsystems. All these subsystems effect in one subsystem is going to affect all the other subsystems, and there will be certain turning that will take place, and after that there will be only one output, one input. Means what? The environmental output, the environmental input, and the dynamics that go inside the system. And what are the dynamics? Increase in temperature, decrease in temperature, the volume of flow, the rate of deposition, the rate of erosion, everything will take place here. Okay, so this is how you need to understand the ecosystem or the ecological approach of the geographical subject. So the increase in temperature, you know how it is going to affect. Further, it detrimentally affects the health of the mangrove ecosystem itself. Rising sea level. Due to continuous submergence in higher water, as an implication of rise in sea level, the plants are being noted to be shorter, narrower, with fewer branches and leaves, resulting in lower rate of photosynthesis and regeneration of the mangrove. The sea level is also affecting the availability of sediments, directly impeding the establishment of new mangrove. This term, see, look, this is estuary environment, means this is water body, mangrove is growing here. Because of the rise in temperature, rise in sea level, this will come up here, and the area of exposure that it gets to the sun will get reduced by this much. So the amount of photosynthesis will be reduced. When amount of photosynthesis is reduced for this entire plant, before the sea level rise, the production was from this side, means the food they were available, say for example it was 80, but now by reducing it this, it is just getting 60 for example, but this food is for the entire mangrove, so the health will deteriorate, it will become less and less, and gradually it will die out, and that is how mangrove is destroyed due to rise in sea level. And the other thing, there is a mud dike. There is a term known as mud dike, okay? Mud dike is nothing but a special mud you will find in the Sundarban region. What will happen is, this is directly related to the mangrove. Now, mangrove tree will always try to reach the sun, means follow the sun. So when there is a rise in sea level, it will try to go up, up, up and up, because they need food. From where they get food? From photosynthesis. During that time, the linkages between this mud and the mangrove destroys. And that I will explain in the further slides. But the mud dike in Sundarban is very important ecologically. Cyclones, you know, rise in salinity, impact on agriculture. Studies suggest that in the last 2 decades, the runoff in the eastern rivers of Sundarban has reduced, resulting in ever-increasing salinity and sea water sulfate concentration. Because of extraction of water from the Burma, Putra, at the same time Ganga, all the river that is flowing into the formation of this Sundarban, the amount of fresh water that is coming in is becoming less and less. When the incoming fresh water becomes less, what will happen? The salinity level of that particular level will go up. Because the other side, the contributing factor from other side is a saline water from the Bay of Bengal. So one is contributing and the other contribution is from the rivers from the north. What will happen when the supply of river from the north decreases? The salinity of this will increase. Once the salinity increase, all the vegetations and flora and fauna that are dependent on the particular ecosystem will be disrupted. And you all know, you say we call food web. Why we call food web? It is a web. That's why we call it a web. Web is what? It's a very intricate structure. Means the effect on the other is not linear. If it is linear, it's okay. But it's not linear. It's a web-like structure. Means it's a very complex structure. So in an ecology or ecosystem of any environment, if you change one parameter, here suppose if you change the parameter of salinity, it is going to affect the entire system, and a time will come when the entire structure will collapse. Okay. Deforestation, pollution, challenges. See, encroachment and poverty. These are the social aspects. While writing the exam, please cover these areas also about the poverty of that particular geographical location. don't think writing poverty will become a less of a geographical answer. See, you are targeting into a particular location. Here suppose we are targeting in the Sundarban region. So in the Sundarban region, our analysis should be a holistic in nature. So while targeting in a holistic fashion, we need to look the things which impacts the geographical feature. And here, population is one of the factor that is impacting the geographic feature which we are interested in. Are you getting my point? Okay. Now, so poverty encroachment, because it is highly populated, it is typically witnessed that any measure to remove the encroachment from the forested area is likely to be strongly opposed by local politicians as well as the people. Because see, why encroachment is important? Because of inhabiting by human beings, there is going to be a deforestation. There is going to be a human waste. So creating, like garbage in a very large scale is going to affect the water bodies, the vegetation system. Okay, that is the importance why encroachment is very dangerous. I just read through. Overexploitation of forest produce. Fisheries and collection of non-timber forest produce do supplement the meagre agricultural income of the local population. However, rampant deforestation and overfishing have put the environment under tremendous pressure. Fish stock is dwindling because of a combination of overexploitation and climate changes. Local population to abandon sustainable traditional fishing practices and adopt excessive prawn seed culture. This particular culture, just remember, it destroys the mud dikes. It is mud dikes, okay? M-U-D, that is a simple mud. D-Y-K-E-S, mud dikes. It destroys the mud dikes. See, by traditional practice of fishing, it is not destroyed. But by the prawn seed culture, the mud dike environment destroys. It completely collapses, okay? This has led to irreparable harm being caused to the environment due to erosion of the mangrove ecosystem, which comprises of mud dikes that protects the Sundarbans from the onslaught of the sea. Do you realize the importance of mud dikes here? Further, this has led to the destruction of the mangrove trees, whose roots are essential to bind the mud dikes, and the taking of a heavy toll of fish settlings, which will adversely affect the delta fish population. Spread of disease, increase in man-animal conflict, those are other factors. Just read through. Mitigation strategies, there are two broad mitigation strategies. One is a short-term or the immediate, and the other is a very long-term strategy. Now, let us see some mitigating strategy that needs to be implemented immediately. Zoning of Sundarban according to vulnerability. Regional planning and rehabilitation, relocation. You read through. Protection and distribution of saline resistant food, grain and seed. Because complete relocation of a population is not at all possible. You need to bring certain adaptation measure, and that adaptation measure can be addressed through saline resistant, because just now we have discussed the salinity of Sundarban is increasing. When salinity of Sundarban is increasing, see, even in Sundarban, there are people who are living a normal life. So they need food to eat. So they need some agricultural piece to sow their crop. So suppose if you relocate the entire population, that is not at all possible. Okay. Long-term strategies are fostering existing livelihood patterns, construction of disaster-resistant home, awareness and information, release of additional fresh water. These are regarding the dam construction that we do on the upstream of the river. Because the construction of dam on the upstream of the water affects the downstream flow. And one of the effects is increase in salinity with respect to the Sundarban environment. protection of threatened species and afforestation program. Okay, now let us also see one of the important geographic features, and that is effect of sea surface temperature along India's coast. It is a very recent activity. Just let us see this. I'll just read through. This is very simple. If any doubt, please interrupt me and I'll clarify your doubt. Until about mid-1980s, important fish species such as the mackerel and oil sardines used to be present no further north than the Malabar upwelling zone of the Kerala coast. Because of global warming, sea surface temperature along India's west coast rose by 0.6 degree centigrade over 67 to 2007, according to this. Consequently, this fish species began to find the ocean waters further north also rather salubrious. Okay, so there was a migration of fish from the Malabar coast to the northern side, even reaching the Gujarat coast. What is the significance? See, mackerel and sardine, they are types of fish. Once upon a time, they were just confined to the Malabar region. Malabar region will be around, see, India starts from around 8 degree north latitude. So Malabar region will be around something around 9 to 10 degree north latitude. So in this latitude, temperature will be different than this latitude because temperature changes as we go or as we change different latitude. So in this particular latitude, particular temperature, so particular type of fauna. And in this case, the fauna is mackerel or the sardines. Now what happened is, these fish remain in this region, not from north of Malabar, it was completely absent. But the recent survey we find, these fish are found up to this region now. The reason is, the temperature that were available here is also available here today. What is the reason? Because of global warming. Because of global warming, the sea temperature becomes higher on the northern part of the hemisphere. Okay, because temperature decreases as we go from the equator to the northern hemisphere. But before it was confined to the Malabar coast, but now we can find even in Gujarat coast. This is how, and what is the significance of this after all? See, fish, this is also water, this is also water. Fish is also, you can say, a freedom of movement for a fish also. That is not a big thing, okay? So fish can go here, can go here, can go here. They also have a fundamental right? They can go anywhere they like. But let us see their implication, okay? Let us see their implication. You know, if in a food web or a food chain, the cycle is, the simple, you can say the cycle is like this. One affects the other. So in this chain, suppose you destroy this. You destroy this. It is going to behave very differently. And the entire structure will collapse. Now, in the mackerel and sardine case, they feed on certain kind of algae that is available. So if that fish is absent, there will be an algae boom. And you know what is the significant or the implication of algae boom? The second thing, the bigger fishes might be dependent on the mackerel and sardine in the food chain. And if that particular fish species is absent from that region, the higher level of food chain is directly collapsed. So they will have to also find some other place. Okay, so such is the intricacy of the arrangement we are talking about. Please try to appreciate this kind of intricacy. Just by focusing on fish, you will find it is useless. But if you can appreciate the intricacies that is involved in the system, you will come to know about the importance. This shift in the range of species is also taking place in India's river. That was the oceanic part. Along the Ganga, for instance, 4 species of warm water fish can now be found swimming further north, even up to Haridwar. So, see, because the temperature is warming up, it is going even up to Haridwar. Now just imagine the thing which we have explained. When 2-3 species of fish is completely shifting its habitation to that part, then you can just imagine, okay? Shift in range or in the timing of life cycle events are climate change adaptation by species, okay? Because there are changes in climatic condition. In order to adjust that kind of changes, there is a movement. There is a movement of the fauna that is dependent on that particular region. But not all the things can adjust to such kind of changes, because everything is not mobile. Say for example, okay, fish can move. The temperature on the lower latitude was becoming higher and higher, and they find suitable places on much further north, so fish can swim. But for example, here is a flora, means the plant community. See, it is also experiencing like the fish. Even the plants are feeling like, oh, the temperature is becoming very hot. But can it go to Haridwar or can it go to the southern coast of Gujarat? No, because plants are not mobile. Fish can go, but plants cannot go. So when there is a detachment between a flora and fauna community of one place, there is a complete collapse of system. Okay? Okay, now, it affects human being also. See, the livelihood of millions of people dependent on the location and well-being of other species. How marginal farmers, fisher people and other communities in different parts of India are being affected by impact of other species merits much more detailed investigation. Imagine in the Ganga river, suppose due to certain other reasons, the fish is, like affected badly. Then the fishing community, especially in the Bengal region, will have a very negative impact on the fishing community, because they are just living on a hand-to-mouth basis. They don't have any stocks, no security, nothing. Just by fishing today's fish, they eat. So suppose if you affect that resource, then there is big economic, social implications that happens, and it directly or indirectly affect the environmental region of that particular place. Okay. Melting of glacier and ice sheets is other geographical feature. Okay, let us run through. They are the world's largest reservoir of fresh water, holding approximately 75%. Over the past century, most of the world's mountain glacier and ice sheets in both Greenland and Antarctica have lost mass. Retreat of this ice occurs when the mass balance, the difference between accumulation of ice in the winter season versus the accumulation or melting of summer in the summer, is negative, such that more ice melts each year than is replaced. Okay. When the temperature exceeds a particular level or warm temperature lasts for a long period, there is insufficient precipitation. Glaciers and ice sheets will lose mass. One of the best examples is Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa. There were presence of glaciers, but there is a significant reduction as of now. And that is how it is. See, and the melting of glacier in Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa will affect the entire river that is dependent on this particular glacier, because this glacier is feeding the rivers of different regions. Okay. East and West Antarctica balance. See, I'll tell you, since yesterday we talked about the Arctic and Antarctic region, because the polar regions are becoming very important. In Antarctic region, the basic physiography is like this. It is eastern side, this is western side. Eastern side is much higher, western side is much lower. This side is much warmer, this is much colder, this is warmer. So on this side there is accumulation of ice. In this side there is melting of an ice. So accumulation, melting. But so addition, subtraction. But the entire arrangement equation will turn out to be negative. Means melting is much more than accumulation. So that's why see there might be a question like in Antarctic region there is accumulation that is taking place, accumulation of ice. So what is the implication? So you can just say the final output is negative and all. Okay. The impacts are severe water shortages as the glacier disappears, reduced capability to irrigate crops as freshwater dams and reservoirs more frequently go dry. As the volume of runoff decreases, then the energy. We construct dam on the river, so the reduction of flow of that particular river is going to affect the availability of thermal power. And that is how melting of a glacier affects the flow in the river, and that will affect the energy security of our country. That is the linkages. Okay. Energy, urban and agricultural infrastructure of such locations are likely to be stressed. The melting of glaciers and ice sheets adds water to the ocean, contributing to sea level rise. Okay. Now, you want a break or we'll continue? Let's take a break for 5 minutes.